Okay. Hello, greetings, welcome. It's the Shark Stream. It's me, it's Gage. Hi. I was almost a little worried I wasn't going to start on time because I'm looking over the follows that I've gotten in just like the last couple days from people claiming to be artists who are following me and retweeting my stream go live tweets. And thus far, only one of them actually has anything in their media tab. I don't know, I'm looking over it, and like the style is maybe a little disparate from piece to piece. So part of me is thinking, I don't know if you actually did this stuff, necessarily. But, like, I mean, that one at the very least gets points because the other two that I was looking at have absolutely nothing in their media tab. And one of them, the top tweet on their account right now, or, like, their most recent one, is them calling out, like, a bot claiming to do commissions. And it's just like, you are also claiming to do commissions and yet have nothing in... If you're gonna be going around telling people that, like, you know, you do commissions, like, especially if you're, like, pushing yourself as somebody who, like, does commissions for VTubers, for God's sakes, have examples of your work. Please, I'm begging you. You look so suspicious otherwise. Anyways, hi. Welcome to the Shark Stream. We're playing Deadly Premonition 2. Now, I do need to preface this one a little bit. Let me go ahead and set the stage for you, okay? The year is 2010. We're a year out, or we're a year post Silent Hill Shattered Memories, I believe. Hold on, let me take a look here. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. 2009. We're a year post Silent Hill Shattered Memories. We're the same year as Alan Wake. So we've got like a couple pretty like decent adjacent examples of horror adjacent media, let's say, featuring weird small towns, right? And here comes this game. This game comes along for the Xbox 360, called Deadly Premonition, right? Hello, Ion Agenda. And this game is a fucking anomaly. It looks and runs like it was probably supposed to be a PS2 game. It looks bad, it performs worse, the controls are garbage, it has the most absurd script you may have ever heard in your entire life, and quite frankly, it's one of the best video games ever made, and one of the clearest examples of how video games can be art. And I'm not fucking kidding. This game was incredible, and has become the very definition, like one of the premier examples of a video game cult classic. It goes on to be released on other systems. It comes out on the PS3 in what's called a director's cut that has like additional scenes, including a sequel hook at the end, suggesting that the adventures of the main character are going to continue. It gets a PC port, and it gets a port to Switch. We'll talk about that last one in a minute. But I want to go ahead and stress here that pretty much every single port after the original 360 version has, in one way or another, been worse than the original release, somehow. And yet, people fucking love this game. Me included. Now, fast forward nigh on a decade. And we hit the... And one day, everybody is sitting around watching a completely innocuous Nintendo Direct. We have no reason to suspect that there's going to be anything completely fucking world-shattering in this particular Nintendo Direct. As far as I remember, there may have been like a Smash announcement or something. When all of a sudden, Francis fucking York Morgan's mug in brand new graphical fidelity is foisted onto our screen. And they just casually reveal that, hey, we're getting a sequel to Deadly Premonition. And everybody loses their fucking minds. Because holy fucking shit, a sequel to goddamn Deadly Premonition almost 10 years later. This isn't the sort of thing that just happens, you know? And it's admittedly another example of just like, this is kind of a thing that sort of Nintendo kind of swooped in and saved from what I understand. Similar to Bayonetta, but like, as opposed to like what happened with Bayonetta, there really wasn't sort of like a whole sort of like, kind of locked in as like a second party franchise with Deadly Premonition. Bayonetta now is primarily a Nintendo franchise, which is kind of weird to think about, but, you know, whatever. So everyone's excited. Everybody is expecting things to be kind of similar in terms of, like, because here's the thing. Swery, the director of Deadly Premonition, Swery Hidetaka Suehiro, had made two other games, two other like major releases between Deadly Premonition and Deadly Premonition 2. Those was D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die, and The Missing. Both incredibly weird, but pretty cool and interesting games in their own right. I played through The Missing, you've heard my thoughts on it. It's probably one of my favorite of the games he's made. So we start getting closer to Deadly Premonition 2, and one of the first things that comes out is how it doesn't run particularly well, but most people who are like super into Deadly Premonition aren't too concerned about that, because it's just like, I mean, yeah, it's Deadly Premonition. When the game came out, you had a lot of people talk about like, oh, the game's borderline unplayable. I mean, like, I played through it from start to finish. I was fine. Like, looking back on it, like, I have videos saved from my initial playthrough, and actually looking back on it, yeah, it's kind of trash, but the performance is god-awful. But what are you gonna do? But the big thing that happens is maybe like a couple of weeks prior to the game's release, we get some concerning news. We get the news that there is a trans woman character in Deadly Premonition 2, and her whole character storyline, how she's treated by the narrative, how she's treated by the characters, isn't great. And there's a huge fuss kicked up about this prior to the game's release. Now, as the game comes closer to release and people get the full scope of like exactly what is wrong with it on like a narrative level with regards to this character, people are admittedly a little shocked because, like, again, this is the same guy that made The Missing, which a lot of people lauded as incredible trans representation, especially in terms of like where video games were at that time. It wasn't the sort of thing you got very often. Now, Swery, to his credit, did go on record and say, hey, we've heard your concerns, we've heard your complaints about how this character is handled by the narrative. We want you to know we're going to do everything we can to fix this. Most people pretty much assumed, like, there's probably no way, and, like, me included, especially when the game came out and, you know, we all played it and saw how it went, a lot of people kind of assumed, oh yeah, there really isn't any way they're going to be able to fully remove the trans misogyny from the plot, the transphobia. Which sucks. That being said, patch did come out some adjustments were made that do address some of the issues that people had, but unfortunately some of the stuff that is baked into this game's narrative, baked into the plot of it, and how characters react to certain things within the game, unfortunately you can't get around those without heavy rewrites, re-recording, reprogramming, stuff like that. It's just not something that can happen, unfortunately. This game has a lot of problems, and it would be folly to go into this pretending that they're not there. They are there. There are issues with this game and how its characters are treated and how its narrative is presented. But there's stuff to like about it too. And we're gonna go ahead and kind of address those, because like there's some stuff in here that like nobody ever really mentioned a whole lot, because a lot of people were focused mainly on the transphobia, which, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to say that that should be downplayed in favor of, like, oh, hey, this is actually way worse. But it is a little weird that a lot of people kind of, like, missed out on other, maybe not great aspects of the story, because they were a little focused on the one thing that everyone was talking about. We're going to go ahead and get into all of that. I want to go ahead and make this clear kind of right out the gate. There might end up being some stuff in this game that is kind of... This is taking a long time to get off this black screen. There it is. Okay. There's going to be some things in this game that are going to be uncomfortable to talk about. But it's one of those things where it's just like, I feel like not talking about it doesn't do anything for anyone, you know? So without further ado, Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise. Well, that's no good. Is there no better way to get her out of the ice? Or okay, we're just... Alright, chainsawing it. Sure. Rip and tear. Rip and tear your ice. 88 hours later. Thompsonville, a suburb of Boston, Massachusetts.
God damn it. What a way to start the new year. At this rate, I'll be dead by Easter.
Quiet down, Agent Jones. You're on the clock.
Quiet down? Ha! You have any idea what you've done? I'd be half naked in Havana right now if you hadn't shown up. Soaking up some rays, surrounded by a harem of bikini queens, a mojito in one hand, and a seafood-slathered Havana-style pizza in the other. What did I do to deserve this? Does God hate me?
No. The Regional Bureau Chief merely issued a special order.
Oh. Yeah. How could I forget? A special order to rob me of my well-deserved vacation.
You want pizza? I'll buy you some pizza. You can find that junk anywhere.
Whoa! Hey! Hold on a minute. What did you just say? Pizza is not junk.
I guess we're just letting this conversation
Pizza
play out.
Is a sacred food bestowed upon us by God himself. You need to apologize right now. This is sheer blasphemy.
Apologize to who? Pizza or God?
Ha ha! You think you're so clever. Maybe if you'd eaten pizza this morning like a decent person, you wouldn't have cut your finger.
I only cut my finger because I couldn't find a left-handed can opener at the hotel. Normally, I would never make such an amateur mistake.
Oh, really? Well, if you want me to get into gear, then just feed me some pizza, okay?
We must act unfaithfully and abandon our ideals again and again. We cannot advance from one period of life into another without causing these pains of treachery.
Nietzsche, again, please spare me, before my ears start to bleed. Ever since the moment you got here, it's been nothing but Nietzsche quotes.
The worst enemy you can meet will always be yourself.
I said knock it off. I prefer pizza to philosophy.
Agent Jones, don't let him take control of the conversation. The moment you let your guard down, he'll strike.
Who could they be talking about? I guess I'm a little shocked that they even thought they needed their guns for
no
this.
red, remember?
It's open. Come on in.
Francis Zach Morgan. So something that I noticed, Brachanthus, deadly premonition, is it going to rain with acid and more sharks like you will emerge? Not in this one, no. This is the second game. Completely different weird shit happens here. So something that I remember noticing in one of the very first trailers of this game is that this apartment layout looks incredibly familiar. Also, he's smoking weed. He's got one of those weed cigarettes, or a bunt, if you will.
You have questions for us. That's why you're here, isn't it?
Francis Zach Morgan. Yeah, that's him. My man's looks fucked up. He has red eyes. I'm calling it now. He's evil. He only has one red eye. This place sucks. Owl water. Okay.
Mr. Morgan, before we question you, allow me to first read you your rights. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. Please keep that in mind as you speak. Do we have permission to film this?
Aaliyah Davis.
Don't worry, my fairy. They're free to do whatever they like.
Wouldn't be deadly premonition if one of the
Something
first
wrong,
lines
Mr.
out
Morgan?
of Zach's mouth was something fucking weird.
I'm FBI Special Agent Aaliyah Davis, and this is...
Simon Jones. An analyst from the Boston branch. He's been monitoring us for years now.
Oh, hi.
Simon Jones.
seriously.
A Southern belle and a lonesome loser who can't catch a break. Quite the uncanny duo. You'd be the perfect stars for the latest video game. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Dark laughter.
How many years has it been since someone came to chat with us? Oh, but don't ask me about my fairy. That's a private matter.
Yeah, alright.
It's hard to tell what he's thinking, but my eyes can't be deceived. If he's hiding something, it'll come out in his face. Letters of appreciation from the governor and the Department of Justice. They're caked in dust as if he doesn't even care about them.
Anything I say will be held against me? I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
This smell. It doesn't surprise me at this point, but it'll be problematic in court if they decide his testimony is unreliable. I won't get another chance to talk to him face to face like this. I need to get him to stop smoking that for a bit. Francis Zach Morgan. He was once an FBI special agent, an extremely talented one. At least that's what they tell me. Perhaps he was a little too talented.
So right out the gate, you can see that like these little conversation sequences are very reminiscent of like the gameplay in like D4. Are they arresting him for smoking? No, he is in Massachusetts, which I believe, if I remember correctly, weed was at the very least decriminalized by like 2018, 2019. Also, he has cancer. So, in all likelihood, it's medicinal.
You solved many difficult cases across your career.
Oh, right.
Utilizing your own unique MO. You've expertly cracked cases that were otherwise thought to be unsolvable. According to our records, after joining the FBI in 2002, you quickly solved 2 drug ring-related kidnapping cases.
Sure wonder how he got said cancer, almost like he's smoking. I believe he did smoke in the first game. Like, one of the very first things that you see York do in the first game is he's smoking while driving his car, talking on his cell phone, and looking things up on his laptop. Believe it or not, he crashes the car not soon after that, but only because there was somebody in the road.
In 2003, you solved the inside-out flesh skinner case in the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
The what?
In 2004, the Jeffrey Dahmer wannabe case in Milwaukee.
God, can you imagine, like, okay. Can you imagine you go out of your way to be a serial killer and, like, your serial killer name, the one thing that, like, gets you, like, your lasting notoriety is that you were a fucking copycat of a different serial killer? Like, that's just pathetic. Like, I wouldn't even, like, start. Like, I wouldn't start because I'm not, you know, a murderer. But, like, if I was gonna be, I would probably choose something. This is a weird train of thought to go down. Let's continue.
And also the stuffed human collector case in St. Louis that very same year.
See, that's a fucking stuffed human collector? This person knew what they were doing. They weren't just trying to ape some other guy.
Then, in 2005, you coincidentally happened to solve the Lise Clarkson murder case.
Can't believe this
while on
ripoff
vacation.
killed another one, SMH.
You went on to solve many other cases after that, all of them seemingly inexplicable.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Wasn't me,
Did
though.
you really solve these cases all on your own?
Technically speaking, it wasn't me that did it.
There are no records of you using a wide-scale investigative team or working with anyone else.
Well, actually.
How did you ever accomplish such monumental feats all by yourself?
It was all thanks to our talented partner.
Partner. The FBI files show no record of you ever working with a partner. Do you mean you worked with some sort of unofficial partner or an outside confidant?
Our partner is our partner. We've always worked together. Besides, Belle, you're forgetting one important thing. After the St. Louis case, we stopped by a diner on our way home and caught Thelma and Louise, two highly sought-after fugitives.
You can use visions to acquire important hints that will help you proceed through the game. Hold on, I'll use vision. Using a vision will deplete your concentration, so be careful about using it too much.
Francis Zach Morgan. He was once an FBI. Perhaps he was a little. Excuse me, Mr. Morgan.
I completely forgot that all of that just was from me looking at the fucking certificates on the wall. I thought that was like actual progression. Visions? Is she on weed too? No. She just got that D4 shit.
But would you please refrain from consuming that while we speak? I'm talking about... Yes, that.
The weed.
You don't need to worry about us. Don't get in our way, and we won't get in yours.
I don't know if that's an answer to that question.
Unfortunately, questioning doesn't work like that. Our data needs to be consistent. Now please put out that stinking indulgence right this minute.
You could just... I love how they just don't call it weed. Like they dance around the word. It's really funny.
What?
What?
If we say no?
Then I'll put it out myself. Using force.
Are you gonna beat up a cancer patient?
Whoa, whoa, Aaliyah. This is Morgan's house. Besides, it's legal in Massachusetts for individuals to consume cannabis in the comfort of their own homes.
Oh, this guy said cannabis at least.
And I mean, come on.
It's medicinal.
Yeah, see?
Exactly.
Hey, Belle. Why are you dressed so handsomely?
What are you talking about?
The thick black accessory wrapped around your neck.
Her tie?
That's a male necktie.
Oh.
The color black represents confidence and interest in the self. And your decision to wear a male tie symbolizes your declaration of war against a predominantly male society.
He was a pretty, like, prominent criminal profiler in the original game, so...
Or perhaps it's a psychological barrier meant to hide the weakness that dwells deep within your psyche. We admire your bravery.
I thought you retired from profiling.
Bullseye, huh? You're an easy one to read.
In order to think with society, a man must first gouge out his eyes and cut off his ears. Don't judge a book by its cover. For someone who's supposed to have been one of our best, you've got an awful eye for people. Or did all that smoke and kill all your little gray cells?
Okay, Aaliyah, that's enough. She's smart, but she's also more of a shrew than she lets on.
Jesus, Simon.
Agent Jones, That's sexual harassment.
Also, you're literally undermining your partner in the middle of an interrogation. Come on. I fucking hate Simon so much. He sucks.
So, Belle, does that barrier of yours also protect you from violent criminals?
He's more dangerous than I thought. I can't read him. I'll just have to assault him head-on with questions then.
I'll just have to assault him. She picks up the chessboard, bashes him in
First,
the
I'll
head
try
with it.
using the files on the table to shake him up.
Zach's vacant eyes.
Stage 4 progressive malignant tumor. How do humans behave when they know death is just around the corner? And what if that human is also a high-functioning sociopath? An ornate antique chessboard. Looks like he stopped halfway through the game. But who was playing with him?
Based on that cleared out space of dust on the table, a piece of pizza.
These files are from the case that took place just outside of New Orleans in 2005. The agent who handled the case was Francis Zach Morgan. And now he's sitting right in front of me. Mr. Morgan, may I ask you a question purely out of curiosity? If it makes you uncomfortable, just let me know, and I'll retract it.
Belle, what's wrong? You sure put a lot of effort into that approach.
It's a question about death.
About this body?
Are you afraid of what's coming?
Think carefully about why we're smoking this, then ask us again. Honestly, we're not afraid. Rather, we find it intriguing.
Intriguing.
Yeah, alright.
Yes. Belle, have you ever been to the Grand Canyon in winter?
No.
In the dead of winter, the Grand Canyon is terribly cold. Colder than you could imagine. A cold that no photograph could ever express.
Okay, Google. How cold is the Grand Canyon in winter?
Winter in Grand Canyon National Park is from December to February. February is the hottest month in the winter, with an average high of 60 degrees Fahrenheit. December is the coldest month, with an average low of 34 degrees. The month with the longest days is February, when daylight lasts for an average of 10 hours.
Oh, that's a lot of very interesting information, actually. I don't know. I've been in places that are colder.
The sun. Powerless. And the temperature drops below zero.
I don't think that's true, but okay.
Right in the middle of the day.
Meaning?
Meaning, you can't really understand something until you experience it for yourself.
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
If you want to learn more about us, you need to gain more experience.
If you want to know what it feels like to be on the verge of death, try dying.
Belle.
No, I don't think I will.
That chessboard looks rather old. And you can't even buy those ivory pieces anymore.
Right. They were banned by the CITES Treaty.
That was made in France in the 1900s. We know it's in bad taste, but the weight of the ivory just feels so good in our hands.
You play chess alone?
Is that a crime?
No. But it's a hard game to enjoy when you're all by yourself.
He's probably just replicating famous games. Or trying to solve problems from a chess workbook. Right, Morgan? I may not look it, but I'm actually a bit of a chess nut myself. When I was in school, I used to pore over every issue of Chess Life, the magazine published by the U.S. Chess Federation.
Well, unfortunately, your guess is completely wrong, Agent Jones.
Yeah, idiot.
He isn't replicating a famous game, nor is he solving workbook problems. There isn't a single chess book to be found in this apartment.
I mean, those are records.
And I didn't find any chess-related websites in his internet history. He was simply playing chess. All alone.
So, what's wrong with that, Belle?
I don't understand it. How could a single human being seriously play as both sides?
Oh, you know.
You just publicly confessed to stealing personal data. Seems like that's a much bigger problem.
He has a point.
Oh no. Everything was done in a perfectly legal manner.
Yeah, it's kind of part of the problem.
We simply happened to intercept a handful of data being sent out from an unknown origin.
Ooh, now she's really trying to scare us. Did you hear that, my fairy? Serious nightmare fuel.
Did you like that? Nightmare fuel? That's an interesting phrase I picked up from TV tropes.
Do you
I'm
remember
banned
the
on there, you
homicide
know.
that took place in Louisiana, Louisiana in 2005?
We solved that case.
Your report states the following. By coincidence, you encountered a serious incident in a town you visited while on vacation. You then decided to steal the right to investigate from the local law enforcement and took over the case. After several more homicides, you managed to apprehend the perpetrator.
Hooray! He's a hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Okay, well, good to know.
We stole the right to investigate from them, just as you said.
It all started when the body of a 16-year-old girl was discovered. You arrived in Le Carré immediately after that, didn't you?
We just can't seem to keep ourselves away from dead girls.
Did you really visit that town just to take a vacation?
We don't know. If you already have the report, then we suggest you read it, Belle. Either way, that case is closed.
Closed. You sure about that? Don't you think this puzzle is still missing some crucial pieces?
Come on. No need to beat around the bush with us, Belle.
That sound. Oh, he's fucking rooting around his goddamn bag.
They found Lise Clarkson's body. It was hidden deep within the Clarkson Food Delivery Services cold storage warehouse.
After 14 years, we finally discovered the body of the very first victim. Do you know what this means? That's why we're here. The first victim in the case he solved, Lise Clarkson. And this is a photograph of what she looks like now. How will he react when he sees it?
Probably badly.
The body that went missing for 14 years was suddenly discovered frozen in a warehouse. This is some kind of message from the victim to us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're pleased that her body turned up. Deeply pleased.
Okay,
You claim
cool.
to have closed this case, but now a lost body suddenly surfaced. Aren't you curious about the details?
Body or not, we already solved that case. Lisa's body can't change anything now. And it certainly has nothing to do with us.
I suspect the body was stored there rather than abandoned. due to the unnatural state it was found in.
Unnatural state? You mean, being chopped up and arranged, in the proper sequence?
She was found frozen in a storage unit. Therefore, she looks exactly the same as she did when she disappeared.
Yeah, that's how freezing works.
In fact, she's in such good condition that we can even determine the murder weapon and cause of death.
Well, good for you.
Such an asshole.
Even stranger is how unbelievably beautiful she looks.
That's a weird thing to bring up, but okay.
At first glance, few would guess she was a murder victim at all.
Except for maybe the part where her head is separated from her body, but yeah, alright.
She looks more like a piece of art, or a mythological figure from a painting.
This keeps getting better and better.
Better and better?
Isn't that right, my fairy? A corpse as beautiful as a goddess. Sounds just like our story. Yes. Yes.
That went okay. Now I'm sure that Morgan's hiding something. I may be able to get what I want if we go deeper into the documents.
If we go dock you into the deeper mints. Are we still going to talk about the chess game? Alright.
A halfway finished chess game. I think he was playing both sides by himself. If it was merely for entertainment, it wouldn't be a problem. But I know that every action he takes has its own special purpose.
Okay.
Especially now that his remaining time is limited. He didn't so much as twitch when he saw the picture of the body. He's even tougher than the rumors made him out to be. But I was prepared for that.
Maybe he's just weird.
And if my hunch is right, he's deeply intertwined with this case. Far deeper than what my superiors think.
I mean, she's correct about that. But, like, I feel like she's really underestimating exactly how fucking weird, Francis Zach Morgan is.
The person who originally
like, as a
admitted this
person.
report was his superior, Robert Abrahams, current chief of the Boston branch. According to Chief Abrahams, Morgan's got his own modus operandi. It's not something that others should interfere with. Well, Chief,
Modus operandi.
look what that's gotten us into now.
He's got his own MO.
Who is it? This My Fairy character you keep speaking to.
Oh, she's asking about it.
You can't see her? Such bad manners. You barge into our apartment, yet you don't even care about who else is living here.
Dissociative identity disorder. In the past, it was known as multiple personality disorder. You were subjected to an internal probe only once during your career, correct? They suspected that you had DID, but you denied it.
I do kind of like that, because I think... I'm trying to remember. I think by the time that Deadly Premonition 1 had come out, it had already been... the designation had already been changed to dissociative identity disorder. But they didn't really address it as such in the original game. So it is kind of interesting that they bring it up in the sequel and specifically identify it as DID.
And no problems arose during your test. Is this how you dealt with the psychological profiler back then, too? Saying strange things, weaving unrelated matters together.
That's literally just how he talks.
Is that how you slipped through?
You're free to draw your own conclusions, Belle. But my fairy clearly exists. She's been sitting right there, on your lap this entire time. Hey, no violence allowed in here, Belle.
Oh, I skipped over something. Sorry.
Wouldn't want to scare my fairy, now would we?
Alright. Beep boop.
You may be wondering why we decided to unearth all these old files.
Everything happens for a reason.
The moment Lise Clarkson's body was found, we did the best we could to start our own local investigation. But there wasn't much we could actually investigate due to the damage caused by the hurricane.
That would be Hurricane Katrina.
Then we assume you also questioned everyone who worked in the warehouse.
Of course. We questioned all the Clarkson Food Delivery Services employees who staffed the warehouse and its owner, but we still have yet to obtain any key testimonies.
Par for the course with a 14-year-old case, if you ask me.
Nobody fucking asked
Not
you.
to mention how bad the timing was. Most of the employees were on vacation.
So, you gave up on the investigation and came to see us instead.
Yeah.
Remember what happened, my fairy? That warehouse. That man. So incoherent. Such a pain.
Hey, are you talking about the guy who managed the vault where Lisa's body was found? Yeah, I think he started working there in 2005.
2005.
Remember, Aaliyah? You said he was a pain to deal with, too.
The large man, yes? No need to answer, if you don't want to. I'm sure you've already put him under surveillance. Textbook FBI protocol.
Anyway, let's progress.
Isn't there someone else you should have talked to before coming to us? Such as...
We were unable to reach Patricia Clarkson.
Oh,
You look surprised. I thought you already knew. After all, you visited Louisiana last week. We assumed you met with her during your time there.
We haven't been to Louisiana. Not in 14 years.
Is that so?
We've been right here in our apartment this entire time. That man is our witness. Aren't you, Simon?
He's right. He didn't even take a single step outside on Christmas Eve. Which means that I didn't get to either.
Are you positive about that? I took the liberty of checking some airline records. Last Friday, the name Billy Bishop was listed on a morning flight out of Boston. This is the fake name you used to use as an agent, isn't it?
A mere coincidence.
Yet that's not all. That evening on the same day, a man with a large scar on his forehead allegedly purchased an '89 Cadillac from a small used car lot in Le Carré.
uh-huh.
He reportedly said he wanted something old, big, and strong. The owner of the car lot felt it was a strange order, so it stuck in his mind.
Our world is filled with mysteries,
Ain't that the fucking truth?
and they always have the most bizarre timing.
Smoking.
Incidentally, on the following day, an identical Cadillac was taken to a scrapyard in Trenton, New Jersey.
Bleh.
You can find that type of car anywhere. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Morgan's right. Everything happens for a reason. Even this messy room. There must be a reason for it.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to those strangely tidy spots. They're practically begging me to question them. DVDs are all over the place. I know that he's a shut-in, but this still seems like way too many for one person.
Oh, well. Funny. Funny you mentioned that.
And I've never heard of any of these titles before. Poly-MVA supplements. And a home IV kit. It's probably filled with highly concentrated vitamin C. He said that being on the verge of death is intriguing.
God, now I want some fucking orange juice.
But then why does he have such an elaborate home medical care setup?
I've been into juices recently. I had like I gotten like a white crepe, crepes, like the French breakfast food. I had a white grape cranberry juice somewhat recently that I thought was very good, actually. I used to drink a lot of white grape juice as a kid, and it was always like one of my favorite things to get, admittedly. And I do like cranberry juice. This is a weird thing to talk about. I just like juice. Juice is pretty good.
How does he truly feel?
Bad.
This room's a total mess. But certain spots look perfectly clean. Is it just a coincidence? No. There are no coincidences with this man.
That's probably true. Pile of DVDs. Let's talk about movies.
A stinking indulgence. And a massive DVD collection. You must live a very comfortable life.
We're retired, remember?
Retired in your 40s. I'm envious.
But who doesn't love movies, Belle?
I'm not a fan.
Really?
Oh, that won't do. You should dedicate all the free time you have to watching movies. It's practically an unwritten law.
He's right. Yeah, it's true.
Films guide us. Films are filled with every important life lesson there is.
Is that so?
For example, They Live, 1988, directed by John Carpenter.
Here we go.
That film taught us a valuable lesson. Always put on your sunglasses before a fight.
You know, you've got a point.
Shut up, Simon.
Movies teach us about everything we need to know. I learned about the right way to eat frozen pizza from Cobra. It's one of Stallone's best films. Before that, I wouldn't be caught dead trying to eat frozen pizza. I thought it wasn't fit for human consumption, but that film changed my life.
Simon, that has nothing to do with the film.
Yeah!
You're just talking about pizza.
I love that. Simon tries to come to his defense. He's just like, Simon, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. Oh my god. Alright, empty box.
Do you like fresh vegetable juice?
Why would you think that?
There's a juicer in your sink that hasn't been washed yet. And do I smell the faint fragrance of baked beans?
Baked beans?
You didn't use much salt, did you?
What are you implying?
You're drinking bean juice, my guy. Cobra reference. Hello, designer gaze.
You just told me that you find impending death to be intriguing. That confused me. When I look around your room, all I can see are the many ways in which you're resisting death. Poly-MVA treatment, highly concentrated vitamin C IVs, fresh vegetable juice, vegetable protein without salt, gallons of vitamin D milk for fat and calcium.
Arranged in a fun little fort.
The ambivalence, yes.
What?
Two contradictory emotions, mixing, coexisting together. An adult, mature mind is never satisfied with only one response. It's common sense. Isn't that right, my fairy?
How am I supposed to know if he's laughing darkly if there isn't a subtitle to tell me about the dark laughter?
Mr. Morgan, I found several spots in this room that look strangely clean. Did you tidy up a bit because you knew we were coming?
Those are sanctuaries. They've existed from the start.
Sanctuaries.
That's right. Sacred places. Hovels for pure souls, if you will.
Were there originally objects in those hovels? Something you didn't want us to see?
The soul's still there. We haven't touched a thing. But we know you can't see anything. Hey, Simon, don't touch the sanctuary.
Simon, don't touch the fucking sanctuary, you
sorry.
stupid idiot. Fuck.
That's a sanctuary. Don't ever touch it again. You've been watching us for 4.5 years, and you couldn't even figure that much out?
My bad.
Yeah, it is your bad.
It's my first time actually coming inside, you know.
You're earning far more than you deserve, then. What were you doing all day in that black Suburban? We thought wiretapping was your specialty. Don't tell me. Crossword puzzles. What do you think, my fairy? 4.5 years. All that time, and what does he have to show for it?
I do enjoy just
So,
telling Simon how much of a piece of shit he is. How much he sucks.
Crossword puzzles? No way. Come on, I thought you knew. I'm a Sudoku guy.
Agent Jones.
Oh, right.
Agent Jones, shut your fucking
He's
mouth.
completely taking control of the conversation. At this rate, we'll never get anywhere. I need to press him some more. Agent Jones. The briefcase isn't even that big. How long does he intend to keep that up? Does he have pizza menus stuffed inside there or something? Agent Jones, did you find the files?
Ooh, the Greenvale case files. Presiding Agent Francis Z. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan, do you recognize these files?
Whoa! Ow!
we told you. That's a sanctuary.
Let him go! Assaulting an FBI agent is an obstruction of
told you.
justice.
We told you. Go. Ah! Stay back. Stay back. Sanctuary.
Yeah, fucking tell him.
Savannah.
Get his ass.
Ah! 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 Yeah.
Congratulations, you gave the cancer
Mr. Morgan?
patient a nervous breakdown. You just bark at me?
I cut my finger with that can opener this morning. I thought I stopped the bleeding, but it seeped through. How could I be so stupid?
Don't feel
Everything
bad.
should be fine now.
At least you're not Simon.
I'm sorry for being so careless. I made sure to read through your file and learn about your condition. The color red. Such an unusual thing to fear. Please, accept my deepest apologies.
I'm sorry too, Morgan.
Yeah, you better fucking be.
I don't know what I was thinking. I'll never
weren't
touch
thinking.
one of your sanctuaries ever again.
Dumbass.
And no more red either.
Don't ever touch one again. I told them not to. Why would they?
I do think it's...
Make them
Like,
go
this is
for
what
it.
I'm talking about.
Sanctuaries.
There's things about this game that, you know, we need to discuss in terms of, like, why they are bad or why they're harmful. At the same time, there's a lot of fun things about this game, honestly. I like that they're just like, hey, you can't let him get control of the conversation. And it's not for any sort of like genuine reason where it's just like if you let him get control of the conversation, like he'll turn things back on you. It's just no, he just starts saying weird shit and derailing everything.
Now, may we return to our discussion?
Don't worry. I won't let them touch you again. I'll keep them away from us.
Strangely enough, this man has a fear of the color red. And I believe that fear is connected to the Greenville case.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so we got heavy duty shredder, another strangely clean spot, and the Greenvale case files.
Soon after Agent Jones started monitoring him, he was ordered to go through Morgan's trash, but he didn't find anything. Morgan used this machine to cut up everything, from his mail to his supermarket receipts. Then he even went as far as taking out his trash in parts.
Weird.
Here's another empty space. What does the word sanctuary really mean to him? Hovels for pure souls. The files on the serial killings that shocked Washington State in 2010, officially titled the Greenvale case. I never thought I'd take out files from a case I first heard about on the news.
All right.
This is a very large shredder. Is there something you don't want people finding out about?
Good question.
I remember there was an episode of the old Ninja Turtles cartoon where, like, Shredder took a knock on the head and lost all his memories, so he became, like, an ally to the Turtles for a time. But then, like, anything that reminded him of who he was ended up snapping him back to his original personality. So, like, they went to, like, this cheese place, or this, like, pizza place. He's like, ugh, there's still some cheese stuck in this shredder. Shredder! Ah!
But we never know when
For some reason, that
curious
particular
civil servants
scene
may come and sift through our trash now.
sticks out in my mind. I don't know why. It's always so weird, the sort of things that just, like, stick with you, you know?
You're already retired. What are you so worried about?
It's just a simple habit from back when we were still on duty. Didn't they bang that into your head when you were up in Quantico? Some habits are hard to break, no matter how hard you try.
Could you tell me what exactly the word sanctuary means to you?
Sanctuaries are sanctuaries.
Yeah, alright.
Nothing more and nothing less.
That doesn't explain anything.
Take a quick screenshot of that.
Why do you wish to know?
Just curious.
Belle, you're a much ruder person than you initially seemed to be.
And you initially seemed pretty rude.
Don't you agree, my fairy? What do our sanctuaries have to do with the investigation? If you're out of questions, then how about just going home?
Hey, mind if I jump in here?
Yes, actually.
What is it, Simon?
Everybody just turned to look at him, just like,
We hope you've got a real question
oh
for us.
boy.
Well, actually, I'm also a little curious myself. No one's supposed to touch any sanctuary, right?
That's what we said.
What about you, though? You can't even touch them yourself? Are there any extenuating circumstances?
What are you getting at?
I mean, I doubt if any of this really matters, but if no one can touch the sanctuaries, then how do you clean them?
Good talk.
Mr. Morgan, I'd like to ask you some questions about this case now.
We don't. want to remember that town.
That's fair.
I'm sorry, but there's no way around this. I remember hearing about this case on the news when I was still a student. A high school girl named Anna Graham was murdered, and the FBI stepped in to take over the case. I also remember it becoming a sprawled investigation due to evidence found in the victim's throat. Is that correct?
I also remember that it sounded a lot like the TV show Twin Peaks, starring Kyle MacLachlan and directed by David Lynch.
After that case, you went on sick leave for 2 years. And when you returned, you requested to be switched over to desk work. What happened?
That's a private matter. None of your business, Bill.
Were you traumatized?
Yeah.
It's a common problem with prolific agents such as yourself. But there's another possibility that may make more sense. Perhaps you simply finished making preparations.
What?
What are you getting at?
Thinking too much about something will always turn it into a problem. The Greenvale case. Don't you think it resembles the Luke Carre case?
Read the report. We have nothing else to say.
You're not even holding a weed cigarette anymore, my guy. You don't even
I just
have
need
the bunt.
One more push. One more thing that can summon up the past.
Clock in trash. Honeycomb in jar. Picture in the documents.
A jar of honey with honeycomb inside it. There's nothing strange about it, but it still gives me a weird feeling.
Well, let's ask about it then.
That's royal jelly.
Huh?
You were staring at the jar, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. You got me.
Do you find it strange that there's honeycomb inside? We wanted to harvest royal jelly in its most natural state. The queen's main food source, created from the worker bee's secretions. It's a perfect food, filled with power, meant to fuel the birth of the next queen.
Oh, yeah?
By absorbing it into our own bodies, we too can acquire that power.
Oh, yeah?
Incidentally, did you know that all the worker bees are female?
No.
Guess they didn't teach you that at Quantico. Male bees are only born to inseminate, and they're born from unfertilized eggs to boot. They have short lives and don't even get stingers. Sort of feels like a glimpse into the future of our society, wouldn't you agree? Women are gifted with the power to conceive, give birth, and nourish their children. But men are consumed with the job of providing women with the chance to do so.
Women be shopping.
If women no longer had to rely on men for the seeds of life, they would soon cease to desire them, we believe. Be careful, Simon.
Huh? Of what?
Your Belle's already stolen the reins from you.
Anyway.
Looks like another old antique. He collects milk cartons but treats valuable antiques like trash. What's going on in his head?
Oh, all sorts of weird shit. I'm sure.
Looks like another... He collect... What's going... The silver clock in that trash pile. Is that an H5?
That's right. John Harrison's 5th chronometer. Completed in 1770.
And it's just in the trash?
After many years, he completed it and presented it to the Board of Longitude in order to end their feud with him.
The Board of Longitude.
That's only a replica, of course.
You like clocks?
Clocks are amazing. prime fruit of the human race's intellect. We took the invisible idea of time and manifested it in these.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, I love clocks too. Absolutely fascinating.
Okay.
I disagree.
Oh?
I disagree,
Why?
specifically because Simon found it fascinating.
Time is valuable precisely because it can't be seen. Yet nowadays, people can't tell what time it is unless it's measured in numbers. Talk about idiocy. I don't mean to side with the Board of Longitude, but remember, humans used to cross oceans with the stars alone. We have our eyes to read moon charts and study the sky. We don't need clocks.
What if it's cloudy or storming?
All you need is courage and a love for adventure.
All right.
Hear that, my fairy? Courage and a love for adventure? Come on, Belle. Surely you know how many lives have been claimed by your pals' courage and adventure.
That's true.
Hey, hold on a second here. That Board of Longitude thing. What the heck is that?
Shut up, Simon.
I mean, I've heard of it before. I'm an FBI analyst, remember? I just sort of can't remember it right now. I know what it is, really. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, none of that. Nobody believes you.
Come on, Aaliyah, back me up here. Aaliyah?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
A picture of a leaf. This isn't just a picture of any leaf. It's the belief in truth.
The belief in God.
Begins with the doubt of all truths in which one has previously believed.
I wasn't paying attention and I skipped over the dialogue. I'm sorry.
It's time to get down to business.
To defeat the Huns.
Mr. Morgan, please look at this.
What did we just say? We don't want to remember Greenvale.
This isn't a photo from Greenvale. Look closely at it. Former Special Agent Francis Zach Morgan. This photograph predates Greenvale. It's from the Lucare case you worked on in 2005.
Red. Red tree. Red tree.
Yeah.
Yes, a red tree. Greenvale wasn't the first place you saw one of these. The Greenvale case and the Lise Clarkson murder case. They're connected by these red trees, aren't they?
Red trees. Both places. Growing. Roots. Seeds. Trees.
Answer me. What are these trees?
Red trees. Figured it out. Yes, smarter than we thought. Connection. Red trees.
I want the truth. Tell me everything you know.
You can't handle the truth.
The red trees. You really did your homework. Well done, Belle. You're good.
Damn good.
All right.
Are you ready to talk now? I want to know what went down in Le Carré in 2005.
Fine. We'll tell you. We'll tell you what happened in that town.
Good, because I've been playing this for an hour, and so far it's all been just dialogue.
Yes. It was that red tree. That red tree ruined my life.
Sucks.
It was... It was a sultry summer day. The sun comes down hard on you in the south, like a torrential downpour of demonic whispers. It all started back in that sweltering summer. We still had our best friend with us back then. The other me. My better half.
Let's see him. Show me the boy. Toy Box presents Toy Box and White Owl's production. Oh right, we have this whole opening sequence.
When somebody needs you, you can't turn away. You're their only lifeline, just a hero, a bullet for hire, working alone. Always a voice, a cry in the darkness, an echo of pain that's been long forgotten, but it haunts me, my destiny, to be alone. There's a time when you see life for what it's gotta be. You should know they'll destroy you. We're called to make, to keep searching, walk alone.
The skull appears. Yeah, alright. The twee. I always love the little opening sequences that are in Swery's games, at least a lot of the recent ones. Not to mention the themes have been really good, like D4, The Missing, Dissin.
Zach.
Yeah, let's go!
Zach. Can you hear me, Zach? There you are, Zach. Sleeping again?
Yeah, I was... Look, it was a long period of just dialogue. I'm very tired. We're over an hour into the
Well,
game. I haven't
rise and
actually been
shine.
able to play anything. Oh,
It's time for us to head back out into the chaos.
fun. I love heading out into the chaos.
Isn't that right, Zach?
Chaos time, baby. Dead to E Premonition. A blessing in disguise. "2005. Summer. Le Carre, Louisiana. Funny bird.
Zach, it looks like she wants us to join her for breakfast. Perhaps this town's finally starting to warm up to us.
Cool, thanks." That's him.
Look at that, Zach. She's welcoming us with open arms. She's even willing to share that tasty morsel with us. What an honor.
Hurry up and chow down, mister. Unless you like your breakfast stale.
What an amazing place. I've been on top of the moon since the moment I got here.
Are you having a
And the
lobster
name
for
of this
breakfast?
wonderful town, Le Carre. Sounds like French to me, but what does it mean?
I'm the chef, David. If you want to know about the town, you'd better ask the concierge. Only amateur chefs flap their gums about stuff that ain't food related.
Whoa. David Jawara, chef. Very important that you know that he's the chef.
Did you hear that, Zach?
specifically.
He's a true professional.
You say something, mister?
No, not to you. I was just talking to Zach.
Zach?
Please don't ask me about Zach. It's a private matter.
If you say so, still. Never thought the FBI would ever come out to a little old town like ours.
I do work for the FBI, but I didn't come here for an investigation. I just happened to stop by on my way to New Orleans.
Never thought there'd be a murder out here either. And it was a 16-year-old kid. Now I tell you, this country seen better days. What you reckon, mister?
Zach, he's definitely a professional, but it seems like he's also a bit lonesome. That's good. Ambivalence exists everywhere.
My guy, you're speaking
Folks
out
say
loud.
The killer used an axe. Hell of an old-fashioned choice, if you ask me.
Actually, Chef David, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the incident.
But shoot, I ain't the one you ought to be asking, Mr. FBI. I only heard what I heard. But seeing as you're fixing to grill me, I can tell you what I know.
Get it? Grill like food?
Please
Because
do.
I'm a chef.
I appreciate it.
And we're still talking. Alright. What do you know about the victim?
You said the victim was a 16-year-old. Did you know her?
Well, sure. I reckon the whole town did.
Meaning?
She's Lise Clarkson, the little grandbaby of the Clarkson family.
The Clarkson family?
That's right. You ain't seen they sign on your way in here? The one above that huge cold storage complex. Should have had a dragonfly on it. Anyway, that's the Clarkson family seal. They own most of the land around here, from the sugar plantations right down to the food processing plant. Yeah, I reckon they got a stake in just about everything. They even own the water tower on the edge of town, you know? They're the ones who built up this town, and they still support it.
I see.
What do you know about the Clarksons' house?
Now, I ain't got nothing bad to say, but I'm gonna talk straight to you. You best steer clear of that place. That family ain't just some gang. They're a whole different kind of beast. They folks with real power. Remnants of the good old boys who shaped America in the early days. Especially the head of the family, P.J. Clarkson. He's the kind of monster who goes around eating other monsters.
Fun.
And I'm sure he's on edge now with his granddaughter getting murdered and all. So don't go barging in with that shiny FBI badge of yours and think you'll be safe for nothing. Things are different down here. So if you plan on sticking around, you best remember that.
All right.
I see. I'll keep that in mind.
I'll completely disregard it, but I will keep it in mind as I do so. Local law enforcement.
Is the local law enforcement investigating the case?
That's a good sign.
Shoot, mister, what you think? Now, I told you this ain't no city. We in the bonafide boondocks here. They got to know how to break up fights and keep folks from killing each other when they pissed you off. They sit down and talk it out with you heart to heart, and when that don't work, they just beat your ass. That's the Deep South for you.
Sure.
This murder ain't like that, though. A little kid got killed. A weird way. Like something on a TV show. The sheriff's department ain't never seen nothing like this.
What do you know about New Orleans?
Live and Let Die, Angel Heart, and The Pelican Brief, right? 9 out of 10 people will name those titles when you ask them to think of a film set in New Orleans. They're all excellent movies, but to me they lack realism.
He just started talking about this with this guy.
Due to my line of work, I have a tendency to think deeply about what feels real and what doesn't.
What's your point?
Cat People. That's my point. Cat People. 1982, directed by Paul Schrader. The crowning achievement of Nastasia Kinski, the ultimate muse of the 80s. The most vital element of that movie is the reality it depicts. Leopards who turn into humans have intercourse with humans and turn back into leopards. Then they can only turn back into humans again if they mutilate their lovers. I was awestruck by the sheer reality of it all.
Really?
Understand? I'm talking about hyper-realism. After watching it, I felt like I just had to experience the world of Cat People for myself. That's why I decided to visit New Orleans.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Cat People here real quick. Hold on. Cat People, 1982 film. In this sensual and violent horror tale, Irina Gallier has a dark family secret, one that resurfaces dramatically when she reconnects with her estranged brother Paul. Okay. What is the general consensus on this film? Reception. 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. This motherfucker saw a mid-range erotic thriller from the 80s and decided, you know what? I have to go to New Orleans.
Okay.
Another vital element of Cat People is the presence of Malcolm McDowell.
Okay, fair.
Malcolm McDowell from Blue Thunder. Oh, talk about a masterpiece.
Okay, let's look up Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder. 1983 American action thriller film from Columbia Pictures. Am I looking at the right one? Starring Roy Scheider, Warren Oates, Candy Clark, Daniel Stern, and Malcolm McDowell. Is that a video game? 78%. It's pretty good.
Listen carefully, David. Only an amateur would call A Clockwork Orange his best movie. His best movies are Cat People and Blue Thunder. Period. You need to remember this, because it's the truth.
Whatever you say, mister.
I love that David's just like, yeah, alright. Can I end this conversation?
So, what's your point again?
Never mind, don't worry about it. I already covered all the important parts.
What? It was a bizarre murder?
When you say it was like something from a TV show, what exactly do you mean?
Hey, mister. Why do you look so excited, huh? Like a kid asking grandma to read him a fairy tale.
I mean, this is the guy who was, like, talking about a murderer in the first game that, like, used people's skulls for liquid receptacles. It doesn't really surprise me that he would get really excited asking about a murder being weird.
I just can't seem to keep myself away from young women who died in bizarre ways.
That's a really weird thing to say to somebody you just met.
Well, I ain't seen it with my own eyes, but folks say they found the body hanging under a bridge on the bayou. And under that bridge, there was some kind of altar,
An altar?
like something they use in black magic. Something horrible.
Voodoo?
Nah,
Who do? You do. Do what? Remind me of the babe.
wasn't nothing like that. Just a weird altar.
That's all?
Oh, and the body was all cut up in pieces, scattered around the altar like.
So she was sacrificed.
That's what the fella who discovered her said, yeah.
Bingo, Zach. This case has got our names all over it.
How can I get around town?
By the way, Mr. FBI, I ain't seen a car in the parking lot. How'd you get all the way out here, huh? Don't tell me you walked.
Well, that's a very good question. Chef David, you've got a sharp eye. It's true that I didn't park my car in your parking lot. Do you know why?
Can't say I do.
Because it was stolen.
Huh? But you with the FBI, right?
Even FBI cars can be stolen. It could happen after you park your car on the side of the road and go off to do some legwork. When you're eating lunch, when you're watching a movie, when you're asleep at night, when you're buying cigarettes at the local supermarket. Your car can be stolen anywhere. That's precisely what it means to be an FBI agent. In my case, my car was stolen while I was on my way down here. But no need to worry. I already reported it to the local authorities. And I've also already acquired another mode of transportation.
Another mode?
Want to hear the details?
Not really, but I'll listen if you want me to.
Then please do.
You want to hear about it? No, but you're probably going to tell me anyway.
After I finished my work in Houston, I flew to New Orleans. Then, I rented a car at the airport.
Okay.
Whenever I visit the West Coast, I always rent a convertible, especially in California. But now I'm in hot and sticky Louisiana. So, I decided on a brand new hybrid car with a fully equipped air conditioning system.
A hybrid car?
Oh yes, they're marvelous. Vehicles that utterly defy everything you think you know about cars. Now, in the year 2005, it feels like we've finally entered the 21st century.
The futuristic year of 2005.
Stomp down on the gas all you want. The engine won't make a sound.
It's silent?
At first, I felt like the landscape was moving past me on its own. Give it a few more years, and I'm sure we'll start seeing cars that run purely on electricity.
Yeah, but they're made by douchebags.
Who knows? In a decade or so, electric sports cars may end up lining the parking lots of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, but they're made by douchebags and they're driven by douchebags.
I can see it now. It's the world of The Last Starfighter,
Oh, we're going back to movies then.
1984, directed by Nick Castle.
Okay, let's take a look at this one. 1 second. The Last Star Fighter. 1984 American space opera film directed by Nick Castle, Alex Rogan, teenager recruited by an alien defense force to fight an interstellar war. 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. A musical adaptation, a book, comics, video game, a game of video games, more than one video game. And apparently more recently they've been talking about a sequel? Alright.
It's famous for being the first film to utilize realistic CG, but I couldn't care less about that.
Who gives a fuck about CG?
See, I was mesmerized by the beautifully refined mech designs. It even made me wish that I could be one of them myself. Especially the Gunstar spacecraft. No other sci-fi movie has ever had...
So, where'd your hybrid car get stolen?
Sorry, I got off topic. I noticed it was missing after I finished my lunch and walked out of the diner. Incidentally, this diner was located at the entrance to a small town just south off the I-10. I went out to get back in it, but my hybrid car was nowhere to be found. I remembered exactly where I parked it, right between a blue pickup truck and a hedgerow. But when I came back from lunch, it had completely vanished.
Fucked up.
In short, someone stole it. And in its place, they left me this.
What?
Oh.
A skateboard.
A skateboard?
Yes. While I was sliding my lunch into my stomach, someone was busy replacing my
brand new hybrid car with a wooden board attached to 4 wheels. Remarkable, don't you think?
So then how did you get here?
By riding the skateboard, obviously. Why do you look so surprised? No, I couldn't ride the board very well at first. But by the time I hit the 3-mile mark, I'd more or less gotten the hang of it.
Oh, well, that's good.
By the 10-mile mark, I'd even learned to do a few tricks.
Can you do a pop shove
It
of
was a
it?
journey of self-discovery. Not even I knew I had this latent talent sleeping inside me.
Oh my god, I fucking love Francis York Morgan. Dude gets his car stolen and the thief leaves behind a skateboard, and all he can think about is the fucking journey of self-discovery he went on learning to ride it over the course of 10 fucking miles.
This summer's gonna be another hot one. It's supposed to get over 95 today. Watch out you don't go getting heat stroke.
The Lise Clarkson case needs us. Don't you think so, Zach?
Yeah, probably.
The cat people are what guided us to New Orleans. We should be thanking Malcolm McDowell.
Thanks, Malcolm
Once
McDowell.
we get home, let's watch Blue Thunder again.
Everybody say thank you to
I'm
Malcolm
already looking
McDowell.
forward to it. Aren't you, Zach? Zach, the searing light. These scents. It's the deep south. That was a fabulous breakfast. You're the world's greatest chef.
You haven't even touched it.
Wait, mister. You didn't take a single bite.
Well, the tea was to die for. But I'd prefer coffee next time. What would a morning be without coffee?
We still haven't gained control of our principal character yet. And I just think that's really funny. We have been at this for a little less than an hour and a half. Here we go. Crack an open case. Return to York's room and review the case. Quests updated. Look at that run animation. Beautiful. Is that 203? It's not gonna let us go downstairs yet. We have to go to our fully rendered working mirrors. Last of Us could never. Last of Us probably already has. I haven't played part 2. I haven't played part 1. Ah, much better.
Sang Rouge. We're chasing it all over America. But I feel like we're finally on the verge of finding something now. Don't you, Zach?
Oh, that's some classic
about time
Deadly
we ordered a
Premonition
new
music right
briefcase.
there.
Yes, I know this one carries a lot of memories, but it's seen too much. This hole's from the shootout in Tucson. And this stain's from Miami. Miami. Now, that was a fascinating case.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Billy, our perp, cut his own torso right in two, even with the help of the drugs. A feat like that still requires incredible mental fortitude. I was so impressed that I forgot I'd left my briefcase on the floor. Same floor his blood gushed out onto.
Wild.
I know, Zach, I know. Now isn't the time for a trip down memory lane.
Evidence organization, start. Let's go. Sang Rouge.
An emergent
There it
drug
is.
that's been on the rise in 4 southern states. Personally, I think it originated right here in Louisiana, and Lise Clarkson's murder must be connected to it somehow.
Lise Clarkson.
The 16-year-old girl who was murdered. Her body was found beneath a bridge over the bayou, along with a strange altar.
Fucked up if true. PJ Clarkson.
The powerful man who essentially controls the town of Lucare. And he seems to be more fearsome than your average gangster. I doubt he'll be willing to cooperate with any law enforcement, Zach.
Evidence organized. I did it. I cleared the mission. I'm so good at FBI.
You know, I keep thinking about that movie we stopped to see on our way here, Zach.
What movie was it, York?
The Island, 2005, directed by Michael Bay.
What are your thoughts on The Island, directed by Michael Bay?
For a movie being shown at a cinema complex, it was surprisingly artistic.
Good lord. Hold on. The Island. 2005 film. Let's take a look at you. What do people think about you? Critical reception, 39%.
An experimental setting mixed with hard-hitting drama.
Yeah?
It was art house sci-fi.
Was it?
That director's going to change the history of art house films.
Is he?
Are you following me here?
No.
This is another special film that's setting a new standard, just like Star Wars and Blade Runner did.
Sure it is.
This is a turning point, Zach.
Oh yeah?
You may be witnessing the birth of a vital new word that will soon become a part of film history.
What word is that?
Yes, this single movie may be responsible for creating a whole new genre several years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
A genre known as island movies. I sure like the sound of that. Don't you, Zach?
No. Not in the slightest. He who knocks, answer the door. Quests updated. Link board has been unlocked. So just real quick. So one of my favorite things about Deadly Premonition 2, so in Deadly Premonition 1, you had a lot of conversations with Zach about movies. And it was always interesting to see what the sort of like eclectic mishmash of movies that York was interested in was in Deadly Premonition 1. Though he always just sort of seemed to show sort of like just kind of a general interest in them. One of my favorite things about Deadly Premonition 2 is that the movie conversations come back, but York's attitude towards movies is so fucking weird in a way that wasn't present in the first game. Like, him calling The Island by Michael Bay art house sci-fi is just, it's the tip of the fucking iceberg. So here's our pause menu, by the way. We got a cola. It just says Coke on it. We got cigarettes. Feather cigarettes. They slowly pass time. There's different kinds of cigarettes that you can find that pass time quicker. Kind of like how that works in the first game. Here's our journal. It's where we keep track of quests. Datum. Items. We can learn about the various consumables. We can alleviate chills and colds. Skateboard. Stamps. I think these are basically just achievements. Here's where we can configure stuff. Autosaves on, camera settings, aim settings, sound effects, character names, switch around controller stuff. We can check out our link board. Sang Rouge. There's the chef. Welcome to the world of Deadly Premonition 2. This is a vast, open-world adventure game. In order to solve this twisted case, you'll need to talk to a variety of characters and explore a variety of locations. Danger lurks in the town at night. We highly recommend you spend your night safely tucked in your bed, sleeping. But if you're up for a thrill, you're free to do as you please. And of course we've got, like, this is all, like, tutorial stuff. I don't think we have the option of, like, saving yet. Oh, here we go. Save points. In this game, you can use phones to save your progress. Phones are located inside certain facilities around town and can be used whenever you wish. Saving often will definitely help your investigation go more smoothly. Oh, that's my original save file, isn't it? Okay, well, we don't want to save over that, obviously. Toolbox. You can take toolbox to store items and take them back out later. You can only hold so many items in your person at once, so you'll need to use the toolbox sooner or later. You can only use a toolbox when you're standing near one, so be careful about which items you choose. You can see we got a bunch of stuff. We got some coffee. I could fuck with some coffee, honestly. I think it's been a hot minute since I've had coffee. Got our closet. Our closet.
I'm very satisfied with the decorations and the size of this closet, Zach. And it's even got a security box. What else could a man ask for? It's proof that we're still safely inside the fringes of modern civilization.
Sure, man. Closet. You can use the closet to change clothes and send clothes out for dry cleaning. If you wear the same clothes for a long time, they become dirty. So make sure you clean them regularly and properly groom yourself. Do note that when you send one outfit for dry cleaning, you won't be able to wear it until it's delivered back to you. So we got this one, and we have Stylish Brown. We're gonna go with our standard for right now. Then we got this fucking thing. Don't know what that's about. Not yet, anyway. Got our bed here. At this point, unsure what we're going to be looking at in terms of being under the covers. We can shave if we want. I personally like my Francis York Morgan with a little gristle.
Due to the nature of our work, we've had to stay at hotels all over America. But Zach, do you know what I hate most about living out of a hotel? Shower pressure. The shower was invented so that human beings could quickly bathe in large quantities of water, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Yet there are far too many hotels in our nation that have showers with embarrassingly weak water pressure. It's an outrage. And I'll keep tooting my horn about this every chance I get, believe you me.
Yeah, man, I've seen that Seinfeld episode. Haha. So the shower may come into play a little bit later in the game, potentially. In a way that I don't know if it's a common thing for people who play this game, but I'd be interested to talk about it. David?
Hey there, Chef. What's cooking?
Chef, what are you talking about, sir? I'm the concierge, David.
Oh, of course. David Jawara, but the concierge specifically.
I just heard from our chef that you wish to learn the meaning behind our town's name.
Yes, I've gathered that Lucare is French, but does it have any special meaning?
Why, yes, sir, of course it does. a very clear, logical meaning.
Yeah.
All names have meanings. Would you like to know what this one means?
Yes, I would.
Jolly good, sir. Then allow me to explain. Lucare means square in French.
Ah. And
That's it.
that's it?
Yes, that's it, sir. Do take a gander at the town map in the lobby if it fancies you. It's beautiful, valuable, and old. I'm sure you'll understand once you see it. Now, please excuse me, sir. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to ask.
Did you see that, Zach? That was clearly David. Not a twin, not a split personality, just the work of a true professional. It's bizarre, but I can understand it. Remember what they say, the job makes the man.
Sure. That makes about as much sense as anything else in these games. Mission cleared. Name's origin. Check out the old map of Lucare inside the hotel lobby. Quests updated. The real test of whether this game runs any better than it did at launch is going to be when we get outside. Big mirror.
Do you feel that, Zach? Dozens of paintings no one will ever see. The faint scent of tobacco baked into these walls for over a century.
Crisp 60
Now
FPS.
that's what I call
Absolutely,
a hotel.
definitely gonna be a consistent 120 FPS.
Zach, can you see him? His fashion sense is beyond me, but he appears to be a gentleman. Perhaps we should talk to him.
Yeah, all right. Hey, man.
Nice tie. Did you buy it here?
It's been a long time since someone spoke to me. No one these days ever tries to see me.
They can see what's far in the distance, but are blind to what's in front of them. No. Maybe they're only pretending not to see. That's what civilized society does to people.
Exactly. Ever since mankind got their hands on civilization, they zoomed away at a frightening speed.
Yeah.
Zoomed away from what?
Don't be a fool. You know the answer. As for me, just call me Hoongan.
Hoongan. The title given to a leader in a certain religion. Is that what you are?
What a lovely smile.
Do you comprehend the oracle?
The Oracle. Put on your religion hat, Zach. Here we go.
Felton maidens, in the shrine of hunger, find the flying serpent in the ambiguous zero. Dance with the flying serpent, and you will glimpse the other world.
10 maidens and an ambiguous zero. Got it. But what do you mean by otherworld?
Follow the oracle.
Thanks, I totally understand now.
Zach, did you hear all that? Looks like we've already taken our first step into chaos. But such is our duty. We need to accept the chaos, let it inside, then carefully dismantle it piece by piece. And after we've put all the pieces back into their rightful places, the truth will reveal itself. Let's
I don't know how I
capture the
feel about you
truth
putting that
and
in
present it
quotation
with a
marks.
shiny
But
pair
all
of
right.
silver bracelets, Zach.
You want to arrest the truth? What? Okay, well, whatever. Ah, it's a big square.
Zach, this is Lucare. I think I'm finally starting
Lucario?
to understand what our concierge was trying to say. You can tell this town was built by a very methodical person. No, wait. Maybe they just didn't care, and that's why it ended up this way. It's just another symbol of mankind's obsession with molding nature to fit our own rules.
It's a square. Mission complete. It's a square.
Zach, what did you think of Hungun's oracle? Despite all the dramatic build-up, it's little more than a childish riddle. Heartwarming, really. Exactly the kind of feeling one gets from the good old-fashioned countryside.
Oracle decryption, start.
Now let's start by tracking down those 10 maidens. The oracle gave us a place and an act. We need to go to the Shrine of Hunger and fell 10 maidens. Now where in this town can one satiate their hunger? The hotel and where? And the
Well-
10 things that need to be knocked down. Simple, right?
Yeah, here's a
The
diner
answer
that's
is
also a bowling lane.
The shape of the bowling pin was based on the feminine form. The 10 maidens are the 10 pins. Alexis's Diner and Lane. This is it, Zach. There are even pins and a bowling ball on the sign. I bet we'll be able to eat some Cajun cuisine and bowl there. Maybe even both at the same time. Nice job, Zach. I knew you'd be able to find it.
We did it.
Now for the other oracle. There's no flying serpent on this map. Could it be a contrail or perhaps a dragon? I'm sure we'll find out later. First, let's just figure out where we need to go. Do you know what the ambiguous 0 represents? 0 is usually treated as a base number, but under what conditions would a base number be ambiguous? The answer is temperature, Zach. Yes. 0 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 17.7 degrees Celsius, and 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You'd be hard-pressed to find a more ambiguous 0 than that. The Clarkson Food Delivery Services Cold Storage Warehouse. That's got to be it. Even with this blazing sun in the sky, they can easily keep the temperature below freezing.
I don't know if there's like... Because obviously his continued talking is supposed to be like, oh hey, here's the clues as you need them. See if you can figure it out before he finishes. But I don't think there's like a scoring system for that.
Be honest now, Zach. You knew the answer from the very start, didn't you?
I did. I played this game before. They mentioned the dragonflies, flying serpent, oral decryption complete. Oh, there is a bonus. So, like, maybe doing it quicker gives a better bonus.
How about that Hungan? What a mysterious character. His oracles may end up determining how much time we spend in this town.
Sorry, boss, but this is a smoke-free hotel.
Oh,
If you're dying to smoke, head out the entrance and you'll find a smoking area in the rear parking lot.
Don't tell me. You're the
At
bellboy.
your service, boss.
David Juarez, specifically the bellboy.
Are you good friends with the concierge and the chef?
We work at the same place, yeah. But, I can't really say whether we're good friends with each other. We're all professionals, though. Nothing more, nothing less.
Of course.
I believe we've struck gold here, Zach. It just screams Deep South. Actually, no, it doesn't.
What did you say?
This is all his charm. So, if I want to smoke, I Should go out the entrance and around to the rear parking lot?
Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay. I'll play by your rules.
Feel like there's a side quest involving David Jawara.
Hey, boss. How can I be of service?
David, this hotel is pretty impressive. Why, thanks, boss. We're proud of our hotel here. Yes, we are. I can see why. Speaking of which, did you happen to take a peek at the decorations in the bathroom on the first floor? I did them up myself, I'll have you know. If you haven't, then go take a look. Oh yeah, and we're also really proud of how strong our water pressure here is. Meaning, hey, this is the South, boss. Doesn't take long to go fucking shit, goddamn. Doesn't take long to drown yourself in sweat, catch my drift? Anyways, we made sure to set our shower's water pressure to high. Well then, I can't wait to experience it. I may just have to try it out tonight. This is also an important character, but we'll meet her later. Buffalo.
Zach, here's another perfect symbol of the human condition. Hunting trophies. And it's a buffalo hunting trophy. Now that's a surprise. I've seen several trophies made out of human skin, but never a buffalo's.
Very normal thing to say out loud in the middle of a hotel lobby.
Looking at him brings out this strange feeling from within me. Yes, the very same feeling I got when watching a certain film from 1984, directed by Peter Hyams.
What was the movie, York?
2010. The last scene in that film filled me with such a sublime, majestic feeling.
What, as in 2010, the year we made contact? As in the movie that's referenced in Glass Onion, but the fucking subtitles completely fuck up writing out the title? Let's take a look at that real quick. Hold on. Because that was a sequel to 2001, A Space Odyssey. It's pretty mid-range, about 66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It was filled with everything that was missing from the finale of 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Was it now?
Just talking about it makes me want to watch it again. Let's watch it once we get home. Promise, Zach.
Yeah, alright. Ding ding.
We always strive to provide our guest with the finest of service, sir. Our humble, bucolic town does have its inconveniences. Shopping, in particular, can be a bit of a slog. Therefore, we decided to provide a modest selection of daily necessities right here at our very own front desk.
Great. Sounds convenient.
Exactly.
Alright, what you got? Rubber bullets, first aid kit, cup of coffee, cola, fizz cigarette, middle cigarette, heavy cigarette, lollipop, butter cookie, suntan lotion, mint gum. Gets rid of your BO by a decent amount. Sleeping bag. Adhesive cleaner. Roll this around to clean yourself up a little. So we're gonna buy one of these, actually. Must have for those who want the perfect tan. Makes it easier to tan for a while. And buy one of these also.
Please don't hesitate to let me know if you're in need of anything, sir.
Would you mind if I asked you just one question, concierge?
By all means, please ask me whatever you like, sir.
Do you run this entire hotel all on your own? I mean, just the three of you?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
So you, or the three of you, own the entire place?
Oh, heavens no, sir. The chef, the bellboy, and myself are all mere employees of this fine hotel.
So the Clarksons own this place, too?
Not quite, sir.
Hold on, I'm, like, adjusting my sitting position.
This hotel opened its doors long before the Clarksons came to prominence.
Impressive. No wonder this building has such a dignified air to it.
Indeed. This is probably the only building in all of Lucare that has managed to retain its original appearance.
So, who's the owner? I simply must know the name of the person who had the fortune and sense to come into possession of such a fine building.
The owner of this hotel is none other than David Jawara, sir.
Oh, yeah?
Zach, that's the fourth David. It all makes sense now. It'd be stranger if only the owner was a completely different person.
That's true.
I sincerely
guess.
hope I get a chance to meet him during my stay here.
If I may, Mr. Morgan, sir, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Why not?
Unfortunately, our owner has a bit of a personality problem.
You don't say.
The three of us here describe him as having a fractured mind.
You don't say. Well, I hope we get to meet him. Alright, so we can go to Alexis Diner and Lane at any time. Let's see. Clarkson Food Delivery Services is open between 8 and 5. I don't know what time it is right now. Let's head outside and see. Has to load in the 15 frames per second for the outdoor exploration. I actually don't know how it's going to run. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this game has gotten at least 1 or 2 updates since it came out, so I don't know how well it runs in the outside sections now. So far, so good, with the cutscene at least.
Compared to non-smokers, smokers have a 4.7 times greater chance of getting lung disease.
Well, aren't you adorable?
You know that means it's more likely than getting asbestos poisoning?
The risk of death from lung cancer is actually much lower than what you think it is.
And yet...
In fact, it's tiny when compared to heart disease, strokes, and pneumonia. We're always surrounded by easy ways to die, you know. Some people even get randomly struck by lightning and die right there on the spot.
Wouldn't it be
And
funny
I
if that
reckon
could
you
happen in this
also
game?
know that secondhand smokers have 1.3 times greater the risk compared to smokers?
Of course.
So you won't mind paying the damages when I die of lung disease? How about writing that in a contract for me? You got a pen, right?
I genuinely love Patricia.
I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world. Well, that's stupid. By the way, what's your name?
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, just call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Is something wrong with you? Adults ain't supposed to act like that. I only asked for your name so I can write it on the contract. You should have been able to figure that out if you're a real FBI agent like you said. Come on, sign here. Right here on the paper.
So an interesting detail.
Just as I thought, Zach. This contract paper, it's a Sang Rouge wrapper. Sang Rouge is here, too. This must mean that Sang Rouge is connected to the Lise Clarkson murder case somehow. This is a sprawling case that spread across the entire South. It's within our jurisdiction, Zach. We'll need to
let's give
steal
him
the
a bit
right to
to
investigate
finish.
from the local authorities at once. By the way, miss, what's your name?
Patricia Woods. But I gotta write my name myself, or else it won't be a real signature.
There she is.
Tell me, Patricia, does this town have a sheriff? Or is it under the jurisdiction of the nearest city police?
Perfect timing. Well, go on and steal it if you want it. I was just thinking about how this is way out of my daddy's league.
Thank you for the information, Patricia. Okay, Zach, it's time to get to work. How should we seize control from the sheriff this time?
So something that's actually kind of interesting about York's signature is that the way that York is written is ambiguous enough that depending on how you read it, it could also be read as the word Zach. Which I think is just real neat. Basic controls. Even a special agent needs to stay sharp when it comes to the basics. R is run. Pressing down on L is crouch. R is also dodge. The right stick moves the camera. ZR is a melee attack. X is the red room. Also, the chef runs a general store and a crawfish fry out of his police van. Oh.
Hey there. So, you're the fella from the FBI I've been hearing so much about. I'm Melvin. They call me the sheriff round here.
There he is. Melvin Woods. Boy, howdy, are we going to have things to talk about with
FBI
Melvin
Special
Woods.
Agent Francis York Morgan? But call me York if you can. That's what everyone calls me.
Huh? Well, all right. Mr. York. How's that sound?
Fine by me.
I'm sure you figured this out, but our town's a small one. Yeah, folks are already busy spreading gossip about how some FBI agents come to town. Now, I reckon you came from the city. What was it? D.C., L.A., or New York? Anywho, in the city, it's normal not to know who your neighbor is. Fella who moves in next to you could cook up a dozen folks in his backyard and no one would bat an eye. That's the city for you. Now,
Fair.
I never lived in one myself, but I visited them a few times, so I know what it's like. All pigs must die in the city of wolves. Yeah! Now, does that sound badass or what? I bet you'd... Hey! I know, CLG. I'm just trying to make a little small talk, that's all.
CLG?
Anywho,
Again, with
around these parts, everyone knows each other's name.
the initials.
So lots of folks get leery when they see an étranger like you. And since it's my duty to protect the town, I thought I'd stop by and say hello.
Zach, it looks like this sheriff is quite the happy-go-lucky type.
You are
A clear
speaking out
indication
loud.
of just how peaceful this town is. Melvin, about the Lise Clarkson case.
I knew you were here for that case. Can't put one past the FBI. So they even got eyes on the smallest of towns like us, huh? Our world is filled with information, and it's all within their grasp. FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
The Liz Clarkson
Anyways.
case is connected to a top-secret case that we've...
I know. If you're fixing to take the lead, then go right ahead. I'm just the humble sheriff of a tiny little town. My jobs are to stop my neighbors from beating the piss out of each other and listen to old folks complain.
Well,
Honestly,
he's
this
more
whole
agreeable
murder
than George
case has been
was.
weighing me down. So I'm gonna give you my full
Will be?
cooperation, Mr. Special Agent, sir.
Well, Zach, that was anticlimactic. I didn't even get to use my secret weapon. Melvin, there's a cold storage warehouse on the southern end of town, isn't there? I'd like to get permission to enter it.
Say what?
You want to see where the body's being kept, right?
Oh, I get it now. Lisa's body, yeah. Now, that's what I call a special agent. You already figured that much out.
Sure.
But,
I mean, it was a spectral Hoonigan who told
I'm
me in a
not
mirror.
too sure that,
Well, not really a mirror. It was more of a
going
portrait.
down there at this point is really gonna help much. You know?
Explain it yourself, Daddy.
That's incredible. I don't believe this. Amazing. Did you hear that, Zach? They put the body in a cold storage warehouse. This is fantastic. Insanely fantastic.
Really? Well, how about that?
Awkward laugh.
Well, all right then. I'll head on down to the warehouse ahead of you and make sure we get permission to search it.
Sounds good.
The management company only keeps the warehouse open during certain hours, so you'll have to come during those hours. I ain't looking to create any further disturbances. So be on time. Got it? Come on, let's roll, CLG.
I'm gonna walk home, Daddy. I still got another stop to make.
Oh, if you say so, sweetie. She's a real sharp one, as you can see, so I try to stay out of her way. Well, all right then, York. I'll see you at the warehouse.
Sure thing, man. Skateboard basics. Your skateboard is your main method of getting around Le Carré. Press Y to get on or off the skateboard, A to speed up, B to slow down. Okay. So here's a fun thing. So the color of the skateboard actually changes based on... Oh.
Hey, you. You ain't secretly cutting kids up and sticking them into jars while you work as an FBI agent on the surface, are you? Or using your FBI connections to sell kids to child trafficking organizations?
I've arrested people who've done both, but I've never engaged in either of those activities myself. Of course, I have imagined doing such things in order to learn more about the psychology of the criminals I deal with.
It was just a joke. Why are you getting all serious? And don't tell me what you imagine, or else I'll get scared of you for real. Hey, can I come with you? You signed a contract with me, remember? And besides, I'm kind of worried about my daddy.
Do whatever you like. This is America, land of the free.
Sure.
But I have one condition.
What condition?
Don't ask me about Zach. It's a private matter. Zach, it feels like she's carrying something with her. Kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. I can't leave her alone like this.
I don't know if that's a good thing that it reminds you of Zach when you
feel the
first
same
met.
way, don't you?
But, alright. Here's to help you stay aware of your direction and distance to your destinations. Exclamation points are the main quests. It's the MSQ. And then yellow check marks are your waypoints. Those are the ones that you could put on the map yourself.
Melvin called you a strange name. CLG, I think. What exactly does that mean?
Clever little girl. That's what it stands for, at least. It's nice that he made up his own nickname for me and all, but it sounds kind of weird. I wish he'd call me something normal, like just Patricia or Patty, you know?
Patty? Now that name's got a ring to it. I like it. How about Zach and I call you Patty from here on out?
Do whatever you like. Weirdo. You're heading to the warehouse, right? You gonna go straight there?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to talk to Zach. We're also on a mission to fell 10 maidens, you see. I'm eager to visit Alexis's diner in Lane, but we've only just arrived in this town, so it might be nice to stroll around a bit.
What? I thought you came here to investigate.
Patty, you're still just a child. Why do you worry so much? We're born to be free, and this is America, land of the free. You should always feel free to do whatever you want. Isn't that right, Zach?
Maybe I shouldn't have come with you. I'm getting kind of nervous now.
All right, so, let's see here. Oh,
By the way, Patty, what do you usually do when you're at home?
Is this an interrogation?
Oh, no. I just figured that since we're working together now, it'd be a good idea to learn a little more about you.
Should an adult male like you really be asking a little girl this kind of question? I feel like I heard a story about this sort of thing on the news once.
There's a time and a place for everything. You know exactly who I am, and I've also introduced myself to your father. Besides, you're the one who said you wanted to come with me.
I was just kidding, jeez. You're an FBI special agent. Why would I ever need to worry?
You shouldn't automatically trust someone just because they're an FBI special agent. One's profession and one's personality are completely separate things. For example, one special agent may fall spiritually in love with a genius criminal who enjoys the taste of human flesh.
That's Hannibal. You pulled that straight out of a movie.
Just because it's a film doesn't mean it isn't deeply rooted in reality. You can't judge people solely based on where they work or how they look. You need to think hard and decide things for yourself.
Fine.
So allow me to ask you this. How do you feel about me?
I don't know. I only just met you.
Exactly. Now it sounds like you're thinking. You should never feel the need to force an answer out or pretend like you know something you don't. Zach, she's a good kid, isn't she? Honest and straightforward.
Oh, wait, there's one thing I can say.
Oh. What?
When you talk to yourself like that, it really creeps me out. Did you start doing that after you became an adult? Or have you just always done it? Either way, you should stop doing it. It's really weird and, makes me wince whenever I hear it.
Ooh, Zach, did you hear that? No need to worry. Neither of us are weird, I can assure you of that. She's probably just
Zach, she
having
thinks
trouble
we're
finding the
cringe.
right word to describe us. No, I think I'll stop there. Wouldn't want her to think we're getting desperate.
Like I said, it's really creeping me out.
Okay, Patty. I'm going to try asking you that question again. What do you do when you're at home?
I watch TV and look up stuff on the internet, I guess. Ain't much else to do when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Really? For some reason, I envisioned you working hard to take care of all the chores around the house.
Well, of course I do stuff like that, too. But doesn't everyone? Why bother talking about it?
Other kids your age don't help out their parents. They're too busy talking with their friends on the phone or through emails.
That's stupid. I don't get why everyone's so obsessed with taking pictures of themselves. Then they send them to their friends just to get approval. Talk about cringeworthy.
she
How
said
do you
it
prefer
cringe.
to boost your self-esteem then?
I don't need to. I have my family. And besides, my daddy's the town sheriff. All I need to be happy is a normal life.
That's awfully mature of you.
Everyone else is just childish. I'm totally normal.
Okay then.
I'm normal.
So what do you do after you finish all your chores? You don't turn on CNN and pour yourself some bourbon, do you?
CNN. That's kid stuff. What
Yeah?
I watch is way more adult than that.
Like what? Live sports?
You just don't get it, Agent York. Full House, Friends, Beverly Hills 90210. Sitcoms. Sitcoms are an all-in-one package. Dreams, love, life lessons, science fiction. They've got everything you'd ever want. And some cable channels just show reruns all day long. It's the best. Oh, but my favorite TV show is this old one called MacGyver.
These two are gonna
The
get
main
along
character is
great.
cute and smart. I don't know his real name, but I like him. Oh, and I also like Gil Grissom. from CSI.
Gil Grissom's
I
pretty
just think
good.
it's
Yeah,
adorable how he
actually.
keeps maggots inside his fridge.
Thank you, Patty. That was very informative. Well, what do you think, Zach? Her tastes are...
She likes Gil Grissom. She has to be
they're a bit
good.
hard to describe. Wait, don't even say it. I know exactly what you're thinking, and I'm in full agreement. So you clearly love TV shows, but what about
I just live for
movies?
these fucking
Movies?
conversations.
We don't even have a movie theater around here, so I can only watch what I manage to catch on TV.
Like what?
For some reason, the only movie channel we get at home is the sci-fi one, so I just watch a lot of sci-fi.
Like what? What's the last one you saw?
The one with Schwarzenegger, where there's all these clones.
The Sixth Day, 2000, directed by Roger Spottiswoode. You must be very well versed in sci-fi if you can appreciate an Arnold S. film.
I thought it was way too easy for them to make more clones, and you'd never see a clumsy investigation like that on CSI.
That's right. It's realistic. Everything about that film is so realistic. It may be difficult for a child to understand. But, Patty, that's not your fault.
All right.
All of Arnold S.'s films are filled with hyper-realism, you know. On top of that, Roger Spottiswoode is a director who excels in dealing with hardcore
Sixth Day has a
subject matter.
40% in
Turner
Rotten
Hooch,
Tomatoes, by the way.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Each
Oh
film
my God,
features
he
one
was
of the
Stop or My
toughest
Mom
tag
Will
teams you'll
Shoot.
ever find. I can see why it's beyond you, though.
No, what I'm trying to say is, Schwarzenegger's character was just a pilot, right? Why was he so strong?
It's okay, Patty. You don't need to try and act like an adult to impress me. I didn't understand the charm of Arnold S. films when I was your age either. You need to take your time and slowly reel the film in. Do that, and Arnold S. will greet you with a big, warm smile.
Whatever, just stop calling him Arnold S., okay? It's irritating me.
Zach, she's at a sensitive age. We both know full well that this is the official way to refer to the film star, but she isn't used to it, so it's bothering her.
The
I'm
official
in
way.
Schwarzenegger will greet you with a big, warm smile. Zach, my mouth feels weird. How many fingers do you think we'd need to count the number of people who actually call him Schwarzenegger? We'll just have to stomach it for her sake, Zach. Patty, we're investigating here.
Oh my God.
I think it's about time we cut the chit-chat and got back to work.
What? You're the one who brought it up, and you hardly even let me say anything.
The official way to refer to Arnold Schwarzenegger is, of course, Arnold S.
So you clearly love TV shows, but what about movies?
Movies? We don't even have...
Alexis, Diner, and Lane.
Patty, is something wrong?
I got something to say. When I first met you in the hotel parking lot, you mentioned Saint Rouge, right? If you want to find it, maybe you should track down Professor R.
Professor R.
Yeah, Professor R owns the jazz bar on the other side of the bayou.
How do you know that?
Because...
Because, huh? Interesting.
Alexis has been unlocked. Owl's Nest has been unlocked. So we'll have to actually get into our main investigation next time on the Shark Stream. I want to thank everybody for coming by. I hope you all had a good time. I know I did. As I've said, despite all of the shit in this game that we are absolutely 100% going to be getting into over the course of this playthrough, I do like this game. You know? Like, there's a lot about it to like. And I am excited to show those things off. I do obviously intend to talk about some of the stuff that isn't handled particularly well, and just everything in between. If you enjoyed the stream, you can subscribe here on Twitch. We have special emotes for subscribers. You can also follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, and co-host at AcidXShark. That's AcidXSHARK. Twitter, Tumblr, and co-host, I post the streams as they happen. YouTube, I post them after they happen. Art for the stream thumbnail was done by Tish, who you can find on Twitter at Patchwork Calico. That's PatchworkCalico. VTuber was done by Audrey and B of Team Catpull, who you can find on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Tumblr, and co-host at Team Catpull. That's TeamCatple. Highly recommend commissioning any and all of them. Team Catpull has a commission form. Use the commission form. Don't email them. They'll email you. Don't DM them. If you do DM them, don't be weird. Please don't be weird to my friends. We will make fun of you on stream if you are. Upcoming streams. Tomorrow, Shark Stream Mid-Aught Shootathon Overtime returns when we are going to take care of Time Shift for the Xbox 360. A game that I think sits at about a 10-hour playthrough time. Let me double check that. Shark Stream, Mid-Aught Shootathon. Here we go. Time Shift is 8 hours. So we'll probably be starting that one probably a little bit earlier in the day. And then next week, we're looking at probably more of a standard week in all likelihood. Breath of the Wild on Wednesday. Spider-Man and Dishonored on Thursday. Friday of next week is a little up in the air. I might have something else going on. I'll keep you updated. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I'll see you next time on the Shark Stream. Same Shark time, same Shark channel. Take care, everybody.
No.